Hello, it's Aural Hygiene. It's where we talk about educational films and caught films. Educational today, that's why I said it first. This is Matt here. What's up?
Hi.
What's up?
Hi. I'm Andrew. Hi.
He's Andrew. That's right. Okay, like I said, we're in the educational camp today. I guess yeah, it's educational. If it's a work film, it's educational, right? Okay.
Yeah, it's somewhere in between like those weird blockbuster ones we watched, the training video, and I guess in a way a safety video given the corporatized nature of the company that put these out.
Yeah, it certainly has more of that than like yeah, the Pizza Hut or something like that.
Yeah.
Pop copy or whatever. Um,
Yeah.
so I guess I'll explain. We're looking at 70s Disney World films. I think there might have been one or two on the playlist from Disneyland as well, but telling the people in these costumes, how to do their job in the costumes, be the character, all of that sort of
Yeah.
thing. And I'm,
Yeah.
I'm looking up a name here. I was reading a book. Um, so I left my iPad on the other side of the room. Oops. Anyway, I was reading a book, Jim Cordes or something, who's a Disney historian. I'm sorry if I got the name wrong. I was trying to look for it there, but the book was like, who's afraid of the Song of the South and other Disney, like Forbidden Disney.
Yeah.
So, and he was talking about the latter day use of the Song of the South characters. So and he referenced this video. He referenced the one with Brer Fox and Brer Bear, which
Yeah.
I didn't want to focus this episode on that one for
Well,
obvious
but
reasons.
I
So,
I want to hear about this though
oh,
because I didn't get to that one.
I did watch it, and I'll talk a little bit about it. But yeah, the
Okay.
one we're mostly focusing on is Mickey Mouse and Friends, which seems like the most obvious one to
It's
make.
the first one. Yeah.
And it's yeah, that I mean, it's the template for the rest of them anyway. Um, well, real quick, can you give us the rundown of what we see here?
Yeah, basically, this is a video that's not intended for public consumption. This is something that's only for Disney employees. And this is
Oops.
the tape that they get. Yeah. This is the tape that they give out to new employees that are going to be playing the characters in the suits that run around the park. And so it runs down the history of all of these characters and what their personality traits are. It doesn't like specifically say, never do this, never do that. It's just the do's, right?
Right, right, because it's very Disneyfied, isn't it?
It is. So they
um,
can't go, don't grope, don't hump. Meanwhile, you're a dog if you're playing, what's his name, Pluto?
yeah, you can't get angry at
Don't
a
act like an
dog.
actual dog. Run up to people and hug them, but leave.
Don't shit on them. Oh, another in this book, I'm gonna have to grab my iPad to get this guy's name correctly, by the way. But another one they mentioned was drawn by Wally Wood in 1967. It's the Disneyland Memorial Orgy poster, which of course has lots of Tinkerbell's doing a strip tease, Minnie's taking it from Goofy, Dumbo's just flying in the sky like shitting on people. So yeah, and you can now. It was interesting because in the '60s Disney didn't do anything about it, right? Because they're like, we just don't want to bring attention to it. But the legal
Sure.
the legal precedent now is they have to hit everything. Otherwise, when they do hit something, people would be like, in court, they'd be like, why didn't you complain about this, this, or this? Which is why
Yeah.
Disney now complains about everything.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
if you paint Mickey Mouse on a nursery school wall, Disney's coming for you.
Yeah. As well,
Okay,
they should.
yeah, I got the title right. Who's Afraid of the Song of the South and Other Forbidden Disney Stories by Jim Corcus. I don't know if I got his
Okay.
name right the first time, but yeah, that's sort of how I got into this. Sorry, my cord just fell out.
Sure.
What does that mean? Okay. Um, I would paraphrase the whole thing though is you're going to get kicked in the nuts the movie.
Yeah.
So
I mean, it
they call
must,
it
Sorry, go ahead.
They call it a playful punch, right?
No, what my takeaway from it was, they're running down in a matter of minutes the psychological breakdown of these fictitious characters. And so they have to word it in such a way that's Disney friendly, and that they couldn't get, like, if someone did get a hold of the tapes, they couldn't get strung up about. But they have to find ways of telling people, you're going to get kicked in the balls and don't get pissed off. And, and all these subtle things that you're just like, how did anyone ever do this right? But the thing that weirded me out more than those instructions, and even of the idea of just being stuck in that suit, was the notion that someone in the park at any given moment is watching you in that suit, making sure that you don't violate any of these rules in this video.
Yeah. And of course, we've all noticed that if we've been to a Disney park or something, the characters need to stay mute.
Yeah.
Which,
yeah.
I guess I get it. I guess a kid is like, hey, that's not quite the right voice. But, Kermit the Frog's had like 8 voices by now, right?
Oh, sure. Yeah. And, the princesses, they talk.
Yeah. I watched Alice in Wonderland where it's like, okay, if you're the walrus or the rabbit, shut up. But if you're Alice, you're allowed to talk to the kids. So
yeah.
I guess they can tell Alice doesn't look quite right. So she doesn't sound quite right. It's fine anyway.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I guess little kids are just hyped to see whoever it is,
There's I don't think you ever watch The Simpsons, but there's a Simpsons where Krusty the Clown is like hungover or unavailable or something. So they send out Homer Simpson like dressed as, or maybe it's Barney, the drunk, who's dressed as Krusty the Clown. You're like, okay, kids, it's Camp Krusty. That's it. They're like, okay, Krusty's finally here, but he won't be saying or doing anything. So I kept having that go through my mind. That's it. They're like, where is Krusty? We went summer camp all summer and it's Camp Krusty. So they send in Barney. Here he is, kids. But he won't be saying or doing anything.
I mean, that's pretty much it, and I think there have been documentaries since about like the Disney, on Disney Plus, about the characters and stuff. There's one about the underground tunnels, right?
Oh yeah, the utilidors. Yeah, that's fascinating.
That's that was bizarre to me, but they do need to be able to be in one place and then go to the other, and because forbid you don't want to see like the guy vomiting from near heat stroke, in his helmet, and then all the vomit coming out of the helmet.
Well, and I think part of the impediment was in Disneyland, because it's like you've got like a cowboy walking through Tomorrowland because they don't have the underground passages.
That's right. They couldn't be seen doing that. Although I would have thought it was rad, space cowboy.
Yeah. But I mean, if you're 4, maybe not. Why is the cowboy there?
That's not logical, Dad. I hate Disney World.
This whole new world.
Yeah.
Okay, so a few of the other ones. Unfortunately, neither of us got to Winnie the Pooh, which we should have. But oops.
I really wanted to get to Winnie the Pooh because I saw where they were going with this, and I have to say that the Mickey, Minnie Mouse, all the basics, Goofy, were never really a point of interest for me, because they weren't characters that I can recall ever really being funny or talking. It was some of this later stuff, but particularly ones like Winnie the Pooh. I was like, what are the rules of being Winnie the Pooh?
Yeah.
Well, you're already pantsless, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So one thing is, once you see a few of these, the cookie cutterness of them is kind of funny. Like where they showed the people hanging their costumes, or in the store. It's like literally they must have just had like all the costumes behind the camera and just kept switching them, doing another shot. So
yeah,
because there's all these shots of like, or if you're at a department store, one, it looks like the character's going to check you out, which I don't think is the case at the department store, but it's always in the same spot with many different characters. And yeah, just because obviously no one was ever going to sit down and just watch all of these in one fell swoop.
No. And it made me wonder, like, do people have like the people that have like Tigger clearance but not have Mickey clearance? Like if Mickey is out for the day, like, do you have clearance to be Mickey? No, I've got level 3. I got like the rescuers. I don't have.
Yeah. So, excuse me. I think now their costumes they have multiple sizes, but in the 70s apparently it was like Mercury astronaut sizes. Like if you were weighed more than 180 or you were taller than 5'11, you were not doing this job.
Yeah, no, it must have been, you know. Uh,
Because we keep seeing those two guys. It's always the same guys putting on the costumes, right? So
yeah,
that's why I'm
yeah,
like they must have just had like this giant pile of costumes behind the camera. But yeah, they're the most average size possible, which was the requirement in the 70s.
yeah. I wonder if it was like the ballet or whatever, and people like just went through these intense regimens to become small enough, and there was all these like, tryouts where they like line everybody up, and there's this really stern guy, for Minnie Mouse, measuring everybody, get out.
That'd be cool. So some of the other ones I did watch, well, because I was reading that book, I had to watch the Brer Fox, Brer Bear one. So that was pretty
This is the one
weird.
I'm super curious about.
Okay, one, they have to introduce you to the characters, and you're like, you hear in Song in the South, like it's just the live action parts that are like horribly racist, and they're showing you the clips from the cartoon. And you're like, I don't know, the cartoon seems a little bit. I guess because those stories aren't in our consciousness anymore, or whatever. I mean, the stories themselves are fine, but yeah,
It's just no good.
no, it was very much in a place where they were still like, oh, the cartoons are fine. But I don't know if they are. Um, yeah, I mean, one of the stories is the tar baby, right? Which I think later on, I think in Splash Mountain fixes it by making it he's stuck in honey. Um, although I think they're making changes to Splash Mountain now too.
Yeah, no, I mean, we just gotta face facts.
Anyway, the big take on Brer Fox was your tail is going to screw people up, so watch that, which does make sense more in the store more than the other ones. Yeah, you got that giant foxtail. You got to watch where you're going, and they do mention in every one you can't really see in these things. So, but then after they talk about make sure the movement and stuff, they showed them like running around with kids on like a bunch of rocks, like on Tom Sawyer's Island. It's like,
Mm-mm.
isn't that what they shouldn't be doing in this video?
No, because I mean, who has padding? Guy in costume. Who doesn't have padding? Soft children's bodies.
Yeah. And if you can't see and you're in these whack costumes,
Yeah, no, there's been a lot of stories online focusing on, and then I mean, then it's in the Wikipedia, but it's also public knowledge about the accidents that have happened. But in terms of people dying at Disney or being horribly injured, but with what I'm sure there's a mountain of is great stories about the character related incidents.
oh yeah. So yeah, this one it shows you like you might be doing this at the park, at a special event, blah blah. They go through this at every one, and one is like or like on the street, and in most of them they show um people in like a giant the characters in a bus or something. But for
Yeah.
some reason they show Brer Fox and Brer Bear hitchhiking. And the car slows down, then speeds up again. It's like, no, I'm not getting into that.
What what could that possible, like, in the park or in the parking lot?
No, it looks like it's on the side of a country street. So I ask you, maybe you're taking that road from Commerce to Athens, and you
Mhm.
see Brer Bear and Brer Fox hitchhiking. What are you gonna do?
I mean, the thing is, man, you should not stop, uh, particularly at night. I once encountered it was one of those things where you see it in the distance. Is this a person? Is this an animal? Clearly, the closer I got, the more I'm trying to like figure out what it is. And by the time I realize a man is in the middle of a 2-lane highway in the middle of the night, he yells at me.
He was just standing there.
Yeah,
He wasn't crossing.
I guess this was his way of flagging someone down. standing in the middle of the road and shouting at cars going by at probably 65, 70 miles an hour.
Hmm.
But I became so enraged at that point that he scared me. My mind was going, why would you do this? What did you think would happen? I really was like, just as a matter of principle, I ought to turn around and just run him over.
So it would be a different situation if it was dead of night and you pass like people in giant animal costumes.
Yeah, I mean, nothing good is probably happening.
Yeah,
That's what I gotta admit.
Let me look at a list. I know there's another point or two I have on a few of the other ones I did manage to watch.
And I should say I've never been in a costume like that for any purpose.
I've been in a giant teddy bear costume once.
Yeah,
I have pictures. It was my profile picture on Facebook for a while because there's a teddy bear museum, and I guess you can't do it. Probably it can't do it anymore. This was 5 years ago, but yeah, you could get in the giant teddy bear costume and take pictures.
Wow.
So that was exciting.
Hygienic? Yes.
I don't. They had. I mean, this was like 2014 or 15, and yeah, they had lots of alcohol sprays and stuff. I mean, Japan keeps stuff clean generally.
Yeah.
It's something that definitely would not work in the States because you'd have people just dropping turd in there,
Yeah. Keeping things clean is kind of what losers do.
So which is I watched Pinocchio and Friends. I watched Chip and Dale. Yeah, and Alice in Wonderland. Those are the other ones I watched.
Okay.
There's a lot of dancing.
Sorry.
I was watching Pinocchio and I'm thinking, oh, there is like a lot of choreography there. So
I was gonna say I may need to check out Pinocchio as well. I got my questions about that. Yeah, because it's such a disturbing story.
Yeah, that's a good point. What was it? Oh no, yeah, that was I think Frankenweenie or whatever, where they were going to put that before re-release of Pinocchio in like 1985, and then that was rated PG. It's like Pinocchio's more disturbing.
Yeah. No, it's got there's and someone could easily make. I mean, I know there was Pinocchio's Revenge was made as horror, but you could just straight up and down tell the Pinocchio story, and it's horrifying.
Yeah, I guess Child's Play.
Yeah,
a little bit. Does he ever become a real serial killer?
Who, Pinocchio?
Yeah, sure.
Not to my knowledge. No,
I thought that was Chucky's goal to become a real serial killer.
Chucky's goal was to put his actual body into another human body. The person that possessed the doll. The doll, I believe, was an accident.
So it's been a while since I watched.
No, the whole conceit of Child's Play was that he wanted actually the kid's body. He wanted to transfer his soul into there.
Yeah, because now we got the Tillyverse and the reboot, and so it's hard to keep track of it all.
Yeah,
is that the official phrase for those later movies? The Tillyverse,
the Mancini-verse, I guess you could call it. Yeah, probably. Because there's the Chucky films and then there's the Child's Play films.
Right. Yeah, good point. Okay. I'm talking about the Chucky films in that case, I guess.
Yeah, and the Chucky TV series, which continues from those movies.
Yeah. Let's see. Chip and Dale were kind of fun to watch, I guess. I did learn things about Chip and Dale's personalities I did not know from watching the Chip and Dale one, because you just kind of assume they're the same, right?
Yeah, that was one of the things that I was kind of like catching my ear as I was watching these was things I never thought about before that are like what Disney deems their most important traits.
Well, again, yeah, with the
recognizable
with the Brer Bear thing, it's like Brer Fox moves a mile a minute. He's always moving. He's twitchy, right? So, and Brer Bear moves like half as slow as everyone else. So the whole shtick is that Brer Bear moves as slowly as possible. Brer Fox moves as fast as possible. And when Brer Fox finally bugs Brer Bear because he's moving so slow, Brer Bear is supposed to hit him over the head with his club.
Jeez, it's too much. And who's gonna know that movie anyway?
Especially, pre-Splash Mountain. Well, actually, no, they did keep releasing that thing until '86. I think is when they finally were like, no.
86.
Yeah, the last re-release was something like '86. So
God, so
I
weird.
think it was on VHS. I think I saw it on VHS.
I no, I got a bootleg of it.
That's how.
Uh,
Yeah. There's no I, like a rental version. Like I don't think it was ever sold. You know,
okay.
I'm thinking one of those big white clamshell things with the yellow and red stripes on it. If that rings a bell, that did
Yeah,
ring a bell,
because
didn't it? Yeah.
because one of my aunts, we didn't watch much Disney as when I was a kid. I saw a Black Hole, I saw Pete's Dragon, and I want to say that's it. Maybe one of the Herbie Love Bug movies. But yeah,
Mm.
those they had the red. They were cool.
Yeah, I think I got dragged off to a lot of those summer kindergarten matinees. So
No, I wouldn't have seen Song of the South. What's crazy is when 86, I was uh, about 9 years old.
yeah, I'm thinking like a few years, like that's the last time they released it. I probably would have seen it in like a few years before that. But
Yeah,
yeah,
no, we didn't. If my parents weren't interested in it, we didn't go.
no, I mean for me, there was just like I remember seeing as a kid and not understanding why I was seeing. I was like, well, the live action parts are boring, which is
Right?
2/3 of the film.
Bring those birds back.
It was just boring, So
Yeah,
that's the yeah. You just want to see the
boring
animated
and
segments.
racist.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, as a 4-year-old, you don't catch on the racist part so much, right?
No, there's a lot of things, that only recently have I gone like, oh God, that's pretty bad.
Yeah.
Things that I've rewatched and gone,
Doesn't quite work anymore.
oh,
Okay.
that's
So which character would you like to play at the Disney park?
oh man. It has to be a suit.
Yes.
Oh.
It has to be a suit.
Uh, um, Probably Buzz Lightyear.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you could ham it up pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of
Oh, right. Yeah, that'd be good. Yeah, and I'm sitting here thinking I didn't have an answer for my own question. I'm still trying to formulate my answer.
and I assume they let him talk.
Buzz Lightyear?
Yeah,
Maybe he's got buttons and it plays the voice. That would make more sense.
that would be great. I'd be touching my boobs all day long.
Well, no, kids would be touching your boobs.
Yeah. I mean, it's just the personal space. Who cares? I mean, it's pretty much.
No, if you're going to be a character, obviously you're going to have the kids, like, I mean, I teach small children. You're reading a book and they're starting to use you as a jungle gym. There's nothing much you can do about it.
There isn't.
No, if a kid has suddenly decided to jump on your head, you can't really like just.
You don't have like a spray bottle.
That's what I should do.
Like they do with cats.
No. We have alcohol spray bottles all over the place. And I'll use those.
Yeah. I was disinfecting him. You should thank me.
Right. There we go. But yeah, I mean, yeah, if you want personal space, it's definitely not the job for you.
No,
So
no.
I don't know. In this case, you got this giant costume. I mean, you're Buzz Lightyear. You probably got a pretty good padding there. So
That's what I was thinking because I would most certainly fall.
yeah, I'm thinking. I see. I think I want to do Goofy. Because I can manage the voice, right? Except you're not supposed to do the voice, so then I'd be disappointed. So I just have to be Dumbo because Dumbo doesn't talk.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it might be a character that's clumsy anyway. You just want to get carried away with it because you'd
Yeah.
actually likely injure someone if you fell on purpose. Like here comes the bowling ball, everybody. Look out.
That kid made a splat.
To be fair, they all did have red necks.
Yep. Okay. Yeah. I'm thinking, who do I get? See, when Tokyo Disneyland in particular, I'm guessing. I think they don't have characters just roam around anymore in the States. I think you have to go to like certain spots for the most part to meet the characters now.
That, my recollection, I've been there as recently as 2019. I don't know what they're doing now with COVID, but I do remember that, yeah, they did sort of stay in their areas. You didn't just see them randomly in the park. Definitely. The Disney princesses, they would do this parade that happened certain times of the day and where they'd all be on it. But then they'd all then coalesce to their own, back to their own places. But yeah, the Disney princesses definitely had their little areas because people wanted to see them so bad and get a picture so bad. They had to kind of queue people up and then send them in groups and stuff.
See, at Tokyo Disney, they were still, I haven't been there for 10 years, but they were still roaming around. And
Mhm.
I mean, not Mickey Mouse. You have to stand in a line for like 3 hours if you want a picture with Mickey Mouse. But so what we would do is just like be like, I don't even know who that character is. Let's get a picture with them.
Hey, why not?
Yeah. So no, that would be, yeah. So we got, it's like, my wife likes monkeys. So we got pictures with, we don't even know where these monkeys, I think they had turned out to be from the Jungle Book or something, but I'm like, I don't even
Yeah.
know who these monkeys are. But I want to get a picture of the monkeys.
Yeah. I need to go to, I need to find Baloo the bear. Can't, how about a country bear? Damn it.
Well, yeah, you just run into these, and you feel kind of like, hey, they're in this cool costume. So what if they're not Mickey Mouse? You can take a picture with them. So all of my pictures from Disneyland are like with weird and obscure characters. Another Facebook profile picture for a while was the white rabbit. So double exposure. It was pretty cool. It was like the psychedelic white rabbit photo.
Yeah,
I
now that I
really,
remember. That
yeah.
was very you.
So I like that. I'll send you the one with the bear. That was pretty funny.
I was gonna say I'd love to see that. I mean, it's, in light of what I've learned here, I don't know. I was a little disappointed by the videos. I wanted them to be a little bit more inside baseball than they were. I wanted to see some like, stuff about particulars about the costumes and how they fit and how you're supposed to see out of them and stuff.
Yeah, yeah. And once you realize watching a few of these, it's very much cookie cutter how they're made. Like it's got,
It
they're reading
is.
the same copy, and it's
Yeah.
obviously little differences. Like again, mentioning Alice can talk, but the others can't.
Yeah. No, it was a little dumbed down for something that's supposed to be nuanced performance, you know?
Right.
Like if there's any difference at all between them, you're just sort of like, I don't know. It was very cookie
Well,
cutter.
again,
So
obviously you're not just watching this and then going out. You have to learn, Alice and the Wonderland folks and Pinocchio and the whatever, what's with him, whatever. Anyway, they have like this choreography going on. So I'm like, you have to learn that
yeah.
in a
Yeah.
in a big derpy costume. So
But I think the appeal for people that are Disney fans and classic Disney fans to seeing these is seeing the way that they like briefly describe each character is. Right before there's the thing about them, they show a few clips from the movies and stuff, and so this is in the eyes of Disney, the company, what these characters are, and seeing that I think was pretty, it was valuable.
yeah, again, I briefly learned the difference between Chip and Dale, although it's tomorrow now. I've forgotten it again, but but when they said it, I mean, if that were my job, I'd definitely keep that in mind, right?
Yeah, yeah, no, you would, oh no, you'd be all into it. I would.
Yeah. Okay, I guess tell them about your thing, your thangs.
Yeah, okay. um so Gonzorific is the name of the thing that my friends and I do. This is short films and videos, and we live in Athens, Georgia. And yeah, we did have a character in a suit. It was Bikini Gorilla, and it was this gorilla suit with a mask that was stuck in this scream. Like I don't know why, but it was a woman gorilla wearing a bikini, and it was played by an actor named Lucy Plenty. She's quite tall, and yeah, she just like women. It was irresistible, right? And so in the movie, Bikini Gorilla kind of has a threesome and a few other dalliances.
All
But that
right.
can be found on our compilation, Pajama Nightmare.
Yeah. Well, I told you for Christmas I went full Santa. Well, every Christmas I go full Santa all Christmas week at school. So that's kind of like running around in costume, I guess.
It totally is. That
Yeah.
totally counts.
but it's not the big poofy thing. I'm not like an animal, and I don't put on the beard either because that's annoying. I think I've lost the beard by now.
Oh, well, in that case, you're rather kind of like bad Santa.
Well, I tell them I'm Mato Claus when they ask. They're like Santa Claus. I'm like, no, I'm Mato Claus because that's in Japan it comes out not as Matt but Mato. So
Yeah. Okay.
that works.
I mean, that's good. Then they don't ask questions.
Right. That's my point. This is Aural Hygiene. It's Aural Hygiene Pod on Twitter. It's on Facebook. On Patreon, it's under the umbrella of Podcastius, where we talk about sci-fi films and Matt and Luke sci-fi, Sanctuary, The Twilight Zone, On Time Enough podcast, and you can hear about Monster Hunter and the Monster Mash and Pokemon on Luke Loves Pokemon. Okay. Pokemon. I'm a man now. Okay.
Pokemon. Pokemon. Gene Pokemon.
Okay. So as you, dear listeners, as you go out today, just remember you're going to get kicked in the balls. I probably will. Fuck.